Hey guys, so this week we're going to be taking a look at the Able Carry Daily Active Backpack. And I'd heard a lot of hype around this bag and seen some really great reviews, so I was really curious to try this out and see how it compared to a lot of the other awesome daily bags that we featured on the channel. And so I reached out to the company to see if they had a review unit I'd be able to test out, and they were kind enough to send one over for me, as well as one of their stash pouches. And so I've been testing this out for the past couple of weeks, and I have to say I'm really digging this bag. I've loved using it for my day-to-day, and I can definitely see why the bag has received so much attention and hype. And so I want to go ahead and thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and I'm really excited to share this one with you guys. So let's just go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at the Able Carry Daily Active Backpack. So starting out with the outside of the bag, I really love the overall aesthetic and look of the bag. I think it has a really sleek and minimalist look. And so there are two different versions of the daily bag. The version that we have here is the Daily Active, which is made out of an XPAC sailcloth material, which I've been a really big fan of. One thing that the company gave me a heads up on is that they're actually going to be out of stock of the Daily Active in the sailcloth material until some point next year. So in the meantime, what they're going to be doing is releasing a version of the bag that's going to be an XPAC Cordura blend. And if you guys have any additional questions on when the sailcloth material itself will return, I definitely recommend reaching out directly to the company. They're really responsive, really great to work with. The other version of the bag, which is called the Daily Casual, is offered in a 1000D Cordura nylon, which is also a durable material, but it's going to be a little bit heavier than the sailcloth used here. And that version of the bag is offered in a few different colors, so if you're looking for a little bit more variety in the colors, that will be the version you'll want to go with. But if you're a fan of black bags, as I am, this bag looks really sleek. I really like how great it matches with all the different outfits that I typically wear on a day-to-day basis. And as I mentioned, even though it has a 20-liter capacity, it manages to stay really slim looking. So as I'm walking around the city with this, it doesn't stick out awkwardly, and it really hugs my back very closely. And the 20-liter capacity is right in that sweet spot for the type of bag that I would like to carry with me on a day-to-day basis. It holds just enough stuff without getting too big. If you're somebody who likes to carry gym clothes or have a little bit of extra space for something that you want to use for more like a weekend trip, this might be a little bit on the smaller side. You might need a few more liters, but for day-to-day use, this is a really great size in my opinion. And so while we're talking about the materials of the bag, I really think that everything on this bag feels very well built. I was really impressed, as I mentioned, with the durability of the sailcloth material. The bag has really great YKK zippers all around with a really nice water guard, so it feels like this is going to hold up well if you get caught in rain outside. The outside of the bag also has these nice straps all around, and on the top handle, which is like this really nice cushiony seatbelt like material, very similar to the handles we've seen in airbags in the past. So this feels like it's going to hold up really well. It adds a nice accent to the bag, and it just feels very premium in its build. And so the handle here on the top is very comfortable to hold. It's not too thick, but it offers a nice amount of padding so that if you need to hold this by the handle for a little bit of time during the day, it's not going to be uncomfortable. And that same material is used throughout the side of the bag on the strap. So it has a bunch of different points where you could possibly hang things with a carabiner or something like that. So that's a really nice bonus here, and it adds a little bit of flexibility to what you can actually attach to the bag. So if you look on Able Carry's site, you'll see that they've used these anchor points for attaching things such as bike locks. And so the bag doesn't actually have a water bottle compartment on the outside, which I typically like to see on daily bags, but I don't feel that that's a huge issue here because it has a nice compartment for the water bottle, which we'll take a look at in a second. And it also has all these points on the outside where you can attach things with a carabiner. An added bonus of these different straps on the bottom in particular is that the bag always keeps its shape. It doesn't really sag no matter how much weight I put in it and how much weight is sitting on the bottom. It always keeps the shape, and this is supported by these straps that it has here on the bottom. So it's nice that they don't just serve the purpose of being able to hang stuff on, but that they actually contribute to helping the bag keep its shape and to distributing the weight. So I'll talk about this a little bit more when we move on to the straps, but overall I've been really impressed with just how easy it has been to carry a bunch of weight with this bag. It feels a lot lighter than a lot of the bags that I typically use for my day-to-day, and a big part of that is due to this anchor system that they have here on the bottom and this additional support provided by the straps. So really impressive overall, really interesting use of these straps. And moving on to the other side of the bag, you'll see that there's some larger attachment points here where you could hang some shoes, or you could maybe stick a tripod, or as I mentioned, a bike lock, or maybe attach an umbrella or something like that. So lots of different versatility offered in what you can actually attach to the bag. So really great job on the look of the bag overall. I think that they've done an awesome job of blending the materials, the shape, and the capacity of the bag into something that works perfectly for day-to-day use. Continuing on with the straps in the back panel of the bag, I've been super impressed with how comfortable it's been to wear. This is definitely one of the more comfortable daily bags that I've ever used. And as you can see here, the straps are really well built. They're super thick, very padded, nice and comfortable. I really like the meshy material that was used here to help provide a good amount of airflow. On top of that, the straps are nice and wide to prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when you're carrying around a lot of weight. And on top of that, the bag offers an adjustable sternum strap to provide a little bit of extra distribution of the weight. So really comfortable overall. I really love how well these straps have been implemented. They really fit my shoulders well. And then moving on to the back panel, I really love how this was implemented here. There's a great amount of padding here, which feels awesome on my back. It's nice and soft. The mesh material that was used provides good airflow, and I really like the elevation that's provided here. There's a few different air channels to help prevent that moisture from building up on your back as you're walking around throughout the day. And this padding here at the top adds a nice bit of comfort around the upper back and neck area. So overall, with the combination of the back paneling and the straps, this has been one of the most comfortable bags that I've worn. I really love how this feels as I'm walking around throughout the day. And then as I mentioned earlier in the video, the bag has the added bonus of having these anchor straps on the bottom to help provide not only the bag from sagging, but this helps distribute the weight and really helps the bag feel light no matter how much I've actually put in here. I actually have a lot of stuff in this bag. And as I mentioned, it's the same stuff that I've used in a lot of other daily bags, but it manages to feel lighter due to the combination of the sailcloth material and these anchor points here that help keep the weight from sagging me down. So really great implementation overall, and the comfort of this bag is definitely one of the biggest highlights that I've noticed as I've been using this for the past couple of weeks. And so moving on to the pockets and organization, the bag is definitely a little bit more on the minimal side in this regard. As I mentioned earlier, there's no external water bottle compartment, but it does have this really nice quick access compartment on the front. It has a little bit of a diagonal opening. So as I mentioned earlier, this has a really nice YKK zipper. It definitely feels like it's gonna help keep water out. On top of that, the flap also comes over the zipper to add a little bit of extra protection. It has these really nice zipper pulls as well, which I really like. They're very comfortable to hold, easy to grab. And so the zipper opens up very easily, and this is a pretty big pocket. I really like that this is right on the front, making it very easy to reach whatever you have in here at a time. And so on top of the quick access offered by this compartment, I'm actually impressed by the capacity. As you can see here, I currently have the water bottle that I've used in all my other daily bag videos, and that fits in here very comfortably. As you can see, there's still about half the height of this compartment left, so it goes pretty deep all the way to the bottom of the bag, and it offers a good amount of volume to be able to hold that water bottle as comfortably as it is. And so the water bottle fits in there very easily, but I could definitely see myself putting something like an umbrella in here or even a tripod. There's a ton of space. And so anything that I'm gonna wanna grab quickly when I'm not carrying a water bottle is gonna fit in here very nicely. And then on top of that, this compartment also has a keychain loop, which is really nice. The same seatbelt material that it has on all the other straps here. And just a very simple plastic clip. Currently what I have here is just a flashlight and bottle opener combo just to kind of showcase the clip. So very easy to get to. This is typically where I'll put my car keys when I'm in the office throughout the day, and it comes out very easily. So really nice implementation there. I wish this strap was maybe a little bit longer, as I've mentioned with other key fobs in the past, but the clip is very easy to use and it's very easy to get to whatever you have in here very quickly. The pocket overall, as I mentioned, I was very impressed with how much space it has. So there's no other internal organization in this compartment. So it's just a big space that you can use for whatever items you want to get to quickly. It might have been nice to see something like a slip pocket here at the top to make better use of the height of this compartment, as if you put a bunch of smaller stuff in here, it's gonna all slide to the bottom of the compartment, so it might get a little bit messy, but not a big deal overall, and as I mentioned, very useful, and definitely a spot where I'll typically be keeping something tall like my water bottle. On the top of the bag, there's another quick access compartment with a great YKK zipper and another nice water guard here. So I really like how much protection is offered in each of the compartments for keeping your items protected from water. And so this is a nice pocket. Really love the placement here, very easy to get to. As you can see, it's a little bit slimmer of a pocket, but it still offers a good amount of space. And so it goes pretty deep. Currently what I have in here is my Apple Magic Mouse. And then I also have my lightning cable for my iPhone. And so there's still a good amount of space left there. As you can see, I can almost fit my whole hand in this pocket. So I really like how much space is provided. As I mentioned, the pocket is a little bit on the slimmer side. And one thing I noticed is if you do put something a little bit bulkier in here, there is a tendency for it to dig into your back while you're wearing the bag. So that's why you don't see my sunglasses here. Typically I would put my sunglasses with their case in this sort of compartment that I will be able to get to quickly. But when I tried to squeeze it in here, even though it fit, it just felt a little too tight against my back, so I thought it would be easier to just leave it out and stick it in the main compartment. But really like how well this was implemented. This is definitely gonna be a great spot to be able to get to anything you need to quickly. Something slimmer like your wallet is gonna fit in here very well, or your phone. But one thing I will call out is that it doesn't have any sort of felt lining on the inside, which would have been a nice addition if you are going to use this for something more delicate like your phone. But overall, the pocket is still really well implemented, very easy to get to, and I love having that versatility in how I can organize my stuff. So before moving on to the main compartment, one thing I wanted to call out here is that the bag does provide the ability to kind of lock using the straps that the zippers have and the straps on the side of the bag. So it's really nice that you can actually tuck the zipper pulls into the straps that are near the zipper here. And you could use something like this cable lock here to wrap around and provide a little bit of extra security to the main compartment and prevent anybody from kind of sneaking in while you're wearing the bag. So that's a really nice kind of bonus feature there. If you don't have a lock and you just tuck the two zipper pulls into the strap here, it still offers at least a little bit of obstruction for anybody that wants to get in your bag. But similar to the rest of the compartments in the bag, I really like the zipper that's been used here. Provides lots of protection. It opens up very easily. And so I really like the wide opening that the bag provides. It's not quite a clamshell style opening, but it does open up wide enough to allow you to see everything that you have in the bag, which makes packing and organizing really easy. As you can see, I have most of the same items that I use in all my daily bag videos. It even has a little bit of leftover space near the top if I wanted to throw in a few more smaller accessories. But so just diving into the items that I have here, the first thing I have is my Beat Solo Wireless 2. Next up, I have Able Carry Stash Pouch, which they actually sent over for me to test out as well. And I'll dive a little bit more into this in a second, but I did like the overall look and size of this. I was really impressed with just how much I was able to fit into this, and I thought it fit well with the bag. And I just kind of like the overall look as well. So I decided to go with this as opposed to the GoRuck wire dop that I'd been using a lot in my prior videos. Next up, I have my Kindle. And then I also have a full-size Moleskine notebook. And then I have a folder that I use for papers and receipts and things like that. Then the last item here in this main area is my Levitate portable standing desk. So as you can see there towards the bottom, lots of space. I really like that the bag comes out just enough to allow you to store those bulkier items, but it doesn't make the bag stick out too much. The only bit of internal organization offered on this side is just this slim zippered compartment that it has here, which has a nice meshy material so that you can kind of see what's on the inside of the bag. I didn't actually store anything in here as I prefer to just lay all my stuff flat on this. Anything that you store here is going to cause a little bit of bulk, which is going to make all the other items on the bag stick up. So I prefer to leave these type of compartments empty, but it's nice that you do have that extra bit of space if you want to put smaller knickknacks like pens or cables and dongles. This is going to be a great spot for that, and I like that because of the mesh, you're able to actually see what's in there. I was also surprised at just how big this compartment was. As you can see, I can almost fit my whole hand in here. So a lot of space if you want to go ahead and just toss some stuff in there. Next up, the bag has a really nicely implemented laptop compartment. The first thing I noticed when I tried this out is that it's actually elevated off the ground, which is one of the most important things for any laptop compartment in my opinion. I love the extra protection that's added when the laptop compartment is elevated so that if I drop the bag or put it down a little bit harder, it's not going to get damaged. As you can see, the laptop compartment offers a good amount of space. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, but I think it could definitely fit at least a 15-inch laptop. I like how much it comes out so that if you do have a wider device, you are going to be able to fit that pretty comfortably. The compartment itself offers a good amount of padding. It doesn't offer any sort of felt lining on the inside, but I do like the thickness that it has here. It's a little bit more flexible than I would like to see in a laptop compartment, but it still offers a good amount of protection, and most importantly, as I mentioned, I love the fact that it's elevated. So really great implementation there. Very easy to get to your laptop on a day-to-day. And so a few more things to mention here on the laptop side of the bag. One thing is that the bag has this Velcro area here, which allows you to remove the frame sheet that's on the inside. This frame sheet adds a lot of rigidity and support to the bag, so I really like the fact that that's there, but you can actually remove it if you want to wash the bag, or if you don't like the feeling of the frame sheet, you can just kind of take that out here. At the top of the main compartment, there is a nice little Velcro compartment, which is a perfect spot to hide something smaller that you want to keep a little bit more protected. So if you have some extra cash you want to just save in case of emergency, that's a good spot to put it, or maybe even something like a memory card or USB stick. It's not a big pocket by any means. As you can see here, it just fits a few of my fingers, and it's very well hidden there near the top. It's pretty slim, so really just a spot to hide a very small essential, but I really like the implementation there. It's just a nice thoughtful feature to add a little bit more security to the bag. Moving on to the other side of the main compartment, I really like the additional organizational options that were offered here on the flap. So the first thing I'll call out here is that it has a longer kind of slip pocket that is a perfect size for my sunglasses. So that's what I have here, my Ray-Bans with their case, and that fits in there very comfortably. I love how easy that is to get to and the amount of space that it offers. And then the last bit of organization here is just another zippered compartment, very simple but with a good amount of space. I was impressed with how much I was able to fit in here. Currently what I have in this compartment here is my UTech wireless charger. And then I also have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And so even though those are some pretty big items, there's plenty of leftover space in here. As you can see, this is a really big compartment, so I like that even though the bag doesn't have a lot of pockets, the pockets that it does offer are very well thought out and useful. And I love the amount of space that's provided here. There's no additional internal organization in this zippered compartment, so just a very simple large compartment where you can toss those bigger accessories that you don't want floating around the rest of the bag. So really nice job there. And I really love the overall layout and organization within this main compartment. I think it's really well thought out. And so the last thing I wanted to showcase here was the stash pouch that Able Carry actually sent for me to test out alongside the bag. This is made out of the same sailcloth material that the bag is made out of. And it has a nice zipper here with a good amount of water resistance. So this is gonna be a great spot if you have those smaller electronics and you wanna store them. It's gonna offer a good amount of protection. The bag itself is pretty flexible, so it doesn't have any sort of padding or anything like that. It's just a very simple pouch that you can just throw a bunch of stuff into. And so the pouch is actually offered in a bunch of different color combinations to match the different colors that the bag is offered in. And when I first saw the pouch, based off its size, I was a little bit skeptical that I would be able to hold a lot of stuff in it. But much to my surprise, I was actually able to fit all the items that I typically carry in my GoRuck wire dop. And so just for size comparison, this is the GoRuck wire dop that I've been using in a lot of my daily bag videos. As you can see, there's definitely a difference in size between the stash pouch and the wire dop. So I've always been impressed at how much I'm able to fit in the wire dop and how flat it manages to stay. And I also like that it has a few different zipper compartments as opposed to just being like one main space. So that was something that I was also a little bit skeptical of with the stash pouch, is that it just is one main compartment that you can kind of store everything in. But I kind of like the simplicity that it offers. So just going ahead and diving into the pouch, as you can see, it fit everything that I needed to very comfortably. There's even a little bit of leftover space if you have some smaller accessories you'd want to fit in there. But on the inside, as you can see, very simple, no other slip pockets or spots to keep everything kind of organized, which was a little bit tough for me to adjust to because I do like that most of the organizers that I use have a spot for everything. But the way that this fit into the bag was so perfect that it was hard for me not to use it. And so currently what I have in here is my USB-C dock, along with my USB-C to USB-C cable, as well as the charging cable for that. And then I also have just some of the smaller accessories that I have in the wire dock, as I mentioned. So I have, a cable from Chiffon here with multiple connectors, and then my HDMI retractable cable, and then some headphones, and a tablet stand, and then my USB to Lightning connector that I use to move files between my phone. And so as you can see, the pouch when empty is very simple, but it offers a ton of space. I like that because of the sailcloth material that it has, this is actually very light. So it weighs almost nothing, and I like how slim it manages to get, and it really just was made to fit with the bag very well. It just tucked very easily into the main compartment and was able to hold everything that I needed to. So this costs about $20 on Able Carry's site, which is a little bit on the pricier side if you compare it to something like the BagSmart cable organizer, which we've looked at in the past and offers a ton of different compartments. But because of the sailcloth material that was used on this and the YKK zipper, I think it is still a pretty reasonable price. And it just matches so well with the bag that I think it makes it a little bit more worth it. So really nice, simple design here, but very well implemented overall. And so just to wrap up, I've absolutely loved using this bag on my day-to-day for the past couple of weeks. I've been really impressed with the comfort, the quality, the different features that it has to offer, and I really like the overall style that the bag has. I'm a huge fan of this minimalist look and just how slim it manages to stay. And I was impressed with just how well this bag compared to a lot of the other really great daily bags that we featured on the channel. And so you can purchase the Daily Active bag on Able Carry's site for about $145. As I mentioned during the video, this is the active version of the bag. So they also offer their daily casual bag for about $110 on the site if you want a little bit more variety in the colors that you can purchase, or if you're just looking to save a little bit of money. It has the same form factor, just a slightly different material, and it's going to be a little bit heavier. But both options will be really great bags, especially as they both offer the same type of comfort and organizational features that we reviewed during the video. And so at $145, the bag is a little bit of an investment, but you really are getting a lot for your money. I think this is a bag that's going to hold up really well over the long term. The materials that were used are really great. It feels like a really sturdy bag. So you're definitely getting a lot of quality for your money. And so some bags that this reminded me of were bags like the AirFit Pack 2, which we've looked at on the channel in the past. They had kind of a similar oval type look in my opinion. The big difference there is that the AirFit Pack 2 has the kind of duffel style opening on the front, which this bag doesn't happen, and it also has a separate compartment for your shoes. And so that's going to be a great option to take a look at. That bag cost about $135, so kind of in the same price range as this one. And I do like the extra versatility that that bag offers. It's also a comfortable bag, but I do prefer the look of the Able Carry bag a little bit more. I also think it's a little bit more comfortable to wear, which is saying a lot because Airs' bags have been some of the most comfortable that I've used, and I'm a big fan of their harness system. So the fact that this kind of compares to that speaks to how comfortable this bag is, especially with that frame system that it has that we talked about throughout the video. But really both of the bags are going to be great daily carry options, and if you're somebody who likes to carry your gym clothes or needs a little bit more space, the Air Fit Pack 2 may be a good option to take a look at. Another Air bag that this made me think of was the Air Day Pack, which is another great daily bag that they offer, which has a lot of really cool style, also a very comfortable bag. I personally like the layout of this bag a little bit more than the Day Pack. I think that even though that bag has a little bit more in the organizational department, it has some extra slip pockets and things like that, I like how the laptop compartment was done in this bag a little bit more. And even though it's more minimal, I just felt like the way everything was laid out fit my packing style a little bit better. But both bags are going to be great, and the Air Day Pack costs about $125, so it's going to be a little bit cheaper than this bag, and it also has a really strong build quality and a super sleek look, so that'll be a great option to compare this to. This bag also reminded me a good amount of the Timbuk2 Division Pack, which is another really stylish daily bag. It's a little bit slimmer than this bag, and it's not quite as comfortable in my opinion, but it also has a lot of really great organizational options. It's going to look great in an office environment, and it costs about $120, so kind of in the same price range, maybe a little bit less. But if you're looking for a stylish and slim bag for work, that might be a good option to consider as well. So overall, as I mentioned, I was super impressed with how well this bag compared to a lot of the other daily bags that we've looked at on the channel. I think that it's a really reasonable price for the quality and features that it offers, and it's definitely a bag I see myself using a lot in the future for my day-to-day. And so I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. It's been a great experience so far, and I definitely recommend you check them out. And if you guys found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.